The next few seconds go by in a blur. There are just too many fists for me to keep up with. Before I know it, I'm kissing concrete, ribs bruised and blood oozing from a cut on my forehead. Sneering, the new guy spits loudly at the back of my head. Go ahead and have fun prepping for your love show laugh fest, China girl. But if you don't have that money by the 14th, we're gonna show you even more pain. Ugh, I don't feel a thing. I try not to wince as he steps on my left hand, viciously grinding my fingers into the pavement. That sounds pretty fucking painful. How's that? This time I'm biting my lip too hard to reply. Soon losing interest, new guy and his buddies swagger off sniggering. Head swimming in pain, I lie on the concrete for 7 more minutes, just forcing my breaths to steady. Then, still biting my lip, I drag myself onto my feet. Ow. As I stagger out of the alley, I hear footsteps rushing towards me. I said 2 months, now leave me alone. Raising my one good fist, I swing around to punch whoever's behind me. They duck just in the nick of time. As I lurch forward, grimacing in pain, warm hands catch me by the shoulders. Sona? What happened? You look like shit. How? Huh? Why are you here? This doesn't make any sense. Maybe I hit my head too hard before. Suddenly feeling nauseous, I bend over and start retching violently. Hal holds me up by the shoulders even as I hack up my breakfast all over his shiny black dress shoes. Over his arm, I notice the girl with the guitar watching us, anxiety written all over her face. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I should have known something was wrong with those guys when you left with before. When your friend came looking for you, I felt so bad for not calling the cops or something. Friend? Wait, you mean Hal? He was running all over downtown showing your picture to people. She holds up a piece of paper with a funny-looking drawing. That's funny. Are those spikes supposed to be my hair? The heck? I look like a weird mutant hedgehog. And why is there a sissy-looking flower just because I'm a girl? Just because I'm a girl doesn't mean I like flowers. Growing increasingly disoriented, I lean back into Hal's body for support. I know I'm probably getting dirt and vomit all over his expensive suit, but he doesn't stop me. His chest is warm, surprisingly comfortable. Whatever soap he uses smells kind of nice, too. What am I even thinking? I really knocked up my head after all. She's blushing. As my face heats up, I hastily try to shove Hal away. In my current state, though, I can't push him very far. He just blinks in confusion for a bit, before slowly releasing my shoulders. I need to go. My apartment is too far away, so I head back to the orchestra practice hall instead. Even in the darkness, I can see Hal trailing a couple yards behind me. Whenever we make eye contact, though, I stubbornly pretend to be fascinated by the nearest street lamp. Neither of us says a single word during the entire walk. It's only when we finally reach the practice room that Hal breaks the silence. Sona. What happened? Are you alright? That sounds like the first question he asked when he found me. I still don't know what it is. I shut the door before he can ask me a third time. I don't care anymore, so stop wasting your time. I sleep like a corpse, which is appropriate, I guess, given how I almost became one. After God knows how long, I'm welcomed back to the realm of the living by the elegant flowing notes of a Chopin nocturne. That's pretty. Still stuck halfway between dreaming and consciousness, I have the fleeting thought that my father is the one playing it. Though my father was skilled at many instruments, the piano was always his favorite. Whenever he came home, which wasn't very often, he played the piano more than he ever talked to me. Sometimes the only thing I'd hear from him in weeks was strains of Chopin through the walls at night. Whoever's playing the piano now sounds almost exactly like him. Time to put an end to this dream. As I groggily sit up, a light jacket slips off my body and falls onto the floor. The piano stops playing abruptly. Looking up, I see Hao shutting the cover over the piano keys. He closes the distance between us in several long, brisk strides, then attempts to wrap his jacket back around over my shoulders. Hey, I don't need that. What the fuck happened? It's obviously a reprimand. I suddenly ball his jacket up and toss it to the other side of the room. You can't thank him at least? Hao's eyebrows twitches in irritation. I can see him pressing his mouth into a thin line, probably to bite back an impending tirade. He hands me a thermos filled with something warm. He's trying to take care of you. It's sweet. He mimes taking a sip from a cup. I swish the thermos around suspiciously before obliging. Though the liquid is sweet, it contains something thick and slimy that makes me spit it back out. What is this stuff? It's gross. As soon as I say those words, I realize what I'm eating. Snow fungus soup. That sounds so terrible. What the fuck? My father used to leave it in the refrigerator for me when I got sick. He claimed the gooey fungus clumps would improve my lungs and circulation. I'm not sure if that's true, though, since I always pick them out and toss them in the trash. Where did Hao even get this? Don't tell me he brought it all the way from China. He and my father really do have similar tastes. Nyah. Nyah. Drink it. Why not? So, well, if he went to the trouble of making it for me, I guess I can't just throw it out in front of him. I reluctantly gulp down the rest of the soup. Though swallowing the fungus makes me gag a little, Hao's face brightens. He nods, looking almost happy. Yaw. Good. As he takes the thermos from me, though, Hao's eyes fall on my left hand. With an exclamation of surprise, he reaches for my fingers. Sona! Ugh, that's right, that thug really did a number on my hand last night. Though they don't hurt anywhere near as much as they did before, my fingers still look pretty awful, all bruised and caked with dried blood. Yeah, it looks bad, but I'm fine, see? I wiggle my fingers to demonstrate, only to wince at the pain that shoots through them. Okay, maybe fine was an understatement. Oh, he's worried. And understandably so. You'll probably look like shit, Sona. Muttering under his breath, Hao tries to clean my hand with a cloth from his bag. As he's busy fishing out a first aid kit, I quickly move away. Hao makes a sound of disapproval as I plop down on top of the piano. Quit fussing and let me do it my way. Grabbing a tube of antiseptic, I tear off the cap with my teeth. Hao snorts not so discreetly as I get ointment all over my chin. Hey, I got it out, didn't I? Bandaging myself with only one hand, though, turns out to be tougher. I struggle clumsily with the fabric strips for a minute or two before Hao gets impatient. Yaw. Leaning forward, Hao takes my arm in one hand and the bandages in the other. Though his grip is firm, it's also remarkably gentle, as if he's concerned my wrist might bruise if he holds on too tightly. Well, yeah, you are already injured. His long, slender pianist's fingers skim back and forth, deftly twining the bandages around my smaller hand. Once he's finished tying the fabric, I try to pull away, but Hao doesn't release my fingers right away. Instead, he cups my bandage hand lightly between his palms and holds it against his chest. I have no idea what you're saying, but I really wish I did. He's probably scolding me for not being more careful, but while his tone sounds stern, his touch is still very gentle. So for once, I don't feel mad that he's lecturing me. If anything, I actually start to feel guilty. Okay, Hao. And thanks, by the way. The silence stretches on for several minutes before I finally sever it with a sigh. Thanks for fixing my hand. For coming downtown to look for me. For staying with me overnight. For letting me throw up on your shoes. I appreciate all those things, even if I'm not too good at showing it. So, yeah. You probably don't understand any of this, but I should say it anyway. I'm sorry I kept blowing you off before. Yeah, progress!